Hello, fiber friends. Welcome to Vlogmas, day 20. We are in the final stretch, and I'm so glad you're here with me. We're going to do a couple fun things today because today is our Spinning Frolic episode for December, and I'm going to tell you all about what that means, and we will have a little montage of fiber friend spins from November, and I'll let you know what we'll be doing going into January for our next spinning frolic. So I think we should get started as usual with our daily fibery blessing. Here is our fibery blessing for day 20. May your creative endeavors be a gift that you give to yourself. I think it's so important to remember that, especially in a time when we are working, many of us are working hard on making things special and fun and wonderful and festive for those around us. I think it's important to remember that we need to have fun and festivities for, our own selves also. In the spirit of remembering that our own creative endeavors are important for ourselves, I want to show you something I finished that I'm very excited about. I finished my pillow. I have to say thank you for whoever suggested that I do piping on this pillow because I think it turned out so well. I didn't have any actual piping, so I had to get a little creative with a solution to get some piping on this pillow.
I had this, but I needed something a little thicker to be the piping, and I didn't want to go buy anything because I had this. So I added twist, plied it back on itself, added twist, plied it back on itself, so that at that point it was 4, and then I did it one more time, and at that point it was 8, and it's actually not as hard as you would think. So I know that's grease on my finger because I was playing with the sock machine. Anyway, I know that oftentimes the piping you get at the store has a kind of fuzzy part around it. So I don't know if this is it gonna look too lumpy? I was thinking the other thing I could do is just make a nice thick core spin. I didn't cut this on the bias, I'm aware. I only had so much fabric. So I'll just work it around the corners with extra love. Anyway, I don't know. I might go ahead and try it and just see what happens. Worst comes to worst, I can just open the edge of it, pull this out, and then put something else through it. Maybe. I don't know if that would work. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what happens. We won't know if we don't try.
In the end, I didn't go with the 8-ply. I undid half of it so that it was down to a 4-ply, and I think it worked out really well. It's not too hard, but if I rub my finger on it, I can kind of feel the little bumps of the cord in there, and honestly, it makes kind of a really nice like sensory tactile kind of feeling, and I really like it. Like I did the stitches on my sewing machine because this is small enough that you can get it in there. But I'm looking forward to doing more quilting, and I think it's going to be something that I don't really feature on the channel, but something that I do when I need to shut off my Jillian Eve mind of thinking of how am I going to present this? Is this a mistake that I can show that we can learn from? Is this a success I can show that we can learn from and celebrate? All of that kind of going in the back of my mind, like, oh, I have to record this, but I don't feel like putting myself together. I'm wearing pajama pants, so I'm gonna not record, which means I'm not gonna work on it right now, and I'm gonna put it to the side, right? Like there's those little things that pop up, and none of them are really bad. They're just part of the circumstance of presenting things I work on the internet. But it is still something going on in my mind. I think that the important thing for anyone who does monetize their hobby, it's important to realize at that point, it's no longer your hobby. It can't be by definition. And it is important to have things that are yours that are separate from the presentation of things, like places where you can be totally free to make mistakes and try things judgment free and experiment and go nuts. I think it's important to have those things. So for me, quilting things is that. So, I'll show it a little bit here and there. And I'm glad I did show this one because I might have just gone with a regular boring binding. And I'm so glad I did piping. So that's a whole complicated conversation. It's complicated altogether. So I'll leave it at that. But I just wanted to share my pillow because I'm so proud of it. I did an envelope on the back and it does kind of bulge just a little bit. I might put a button on there or something in the future just to keep it shut more if necessary, but it's on the back. I don't think it matters that much. And I love the colors. I love the flowers. There's a lot of purple in there. And I just am very excited about how this one turned out. And I finished it. Yay! Let's talk about the Spinning Frolic series that I've been up to. Each month I have come up with some sort of a theme and I have spun a yarn according to that theme. I've invited people to join me with that theme as the inspiration to spin whatever works for you. I wanted to have something that would allow me to take the focus off of me and my spinning and shine a spotlight on this wonderful community of fiber friends so that you all can see what each other are up to and put that in my videos. We have this little montage that shows people spinning and you can put notes and explain how you did what you did, your fibers, your equipment, your colors, your inspiration, whatever it is you want to share about it. And I've loved seeing your spinning frolic creations. I've loved seeing these images so much. I get really excited. Sometimes I go in and check before the deadline just to see what's up, who's sending in things. And it's been really fun for me, and I hope it's been fun for all of you. I thought that this month, because it's a busy time of year and because we're moving into January, which tends to be sort of a time of reflection for many people just because of the nature of starting a new calendar year, I thought it would be fun to show off something you're proud of that you made or spun this year. And I will have a Google submission link in the video description. So if you want to send me something, a picture, you can do that. Follow the link in the video description and send that in before, I think it's going to be about the 13th of January so that we can get that in a video for January with our next spinning frolic. But I thought it would be a good time to do a little reflection, and then that'll come up in January when we can kind of look and see what everyone is so proud of that you are so excited that you made. So, of course, that means that today I was showing off my pillow that I finished because I'm so thrilled about my little quilting foray, and I'm wearing my owl sweater because I'm so thrilled that I finished this sweater this year. I love this sweater so much. All of my owls, they're my friends, and I'm on theme today because I'm even wearing my owl earrings. But for the thing I spun this year that I am the most proud of, I'm actually going to have to bring up one of the spinning frolics that we already did, and that is the 4-ply sock yarn that I spindle spun and dyed and knit socks with. This yarn is something that when I finished it and I stood back and here, this folded over weird. Here's the heel. This is a sock. There we go. But this yarn, when I finished it and I stood back and I looked at it, it was one of those things that like your brain kind of short circuits for a second and goes, wait a second, I made that? How did I do this? That looks amazing. How did I make this thing? And I think that when those moments happen, it's sort of an indication that you've leveled up from whatever point you were at. It always feels like a bit of a progression in skill because you don't recognize it as your baseline skill of regularity. It looks like something more. And that's an exciting moment. And I think in those moments, we need to go back to those moments and really capture it and embrace it and remember that that is the thing that gives us confidence. That is the moment that we can say, yeah, I did do that. I did make that. That does look good. That came from my hands. That came from my imagination. This thing exists in the world because I put it in the world. I think that's so cool. Like, that is, as crafters, as makers, as creative people, like, that's peak. So here's a up close look at my sock yarn if you don't remember it. I did it on 4 supported spindles, and then I wound it into a plying ball and I plied it on a spindle, but it was a Conti and Peruvian spindle. And then I finished it and I dyed it, and then I made these socks. I like how this has sort of this interesting um, color pooling, the way that kind of line goes across there. I thought that was so interesting. I could never duplicate that if I tried, if I wanted to. It would not be possible. I don't know how it happened, but it's cool. It's got a little bit on this one too. I was just very excited to share that with all of you, and I can't wait to see what exciting I made this thing projects that you're going to share. I look forward to seeing those very much. But right now, I think we need to see who submitted a picture from a pile of leaves yarn. That was our Spinning Frolic video from November. And if you'd like to go watch that, I will put a link for that video probably at the end of this video. You know how the little subscribe bubble pops up and the click here to watch other videos things pop up? I'll put that video there, and then if I remember, I'll put it in the video description as well, so you can go watch that if you'd like to see where these came from. But the idea was to take just random pinches of fibers from the stash that remind you of fall or autumn, and put them in a pile, and then just willy-nilly pick random and spin them up and create a pile of leaves. Some people did it different ways, whether that was each ply represented a different kind of aspect of fall or autumn to them, or I suggested if people were in the southern hemisphere, they could do flower kinds of colors because obviously they're opposite, so they're having spring at this time. People ask me, does this count? Does this count? If you can justify it according to the theme, then it counts. It's how you interpret it that matters. I'm not trying to gatekeep this. If you want to send a picture, send a picture. If you can justify the theme, you are good to go. And I'm happy to share all of your work. So let's take a look at our pile of leaf yarn submissions. I am going to open up our Advent box from Twice Sheared Sheep and then do a little spinning. This is number 20. Let's see what we have. Oh yeah, the disclaimer. This was sent to me by the company and the link for it is in the video description below. We will do hedgehog fibers tomorrow. We only have 2 of the hedgehog fibers left. We're getting to the end. Okay, let's see what's in here. Eye grip. Eye grip safety eye tool. Place the safety eye post through the fabric of your stuffed animal in the location you want your eye. Place the eye backwasher into the cup of the eye grip tool that fits best. Which way is up? It's a little tool that holds onto the eye so that you can pinch it onto the onto the thing, like stuffy. I'm a groomie. Oh my goodness, sometimes words escape me. All right, friends, let's do a little spinning. Fiber friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope it was a good time. I hope that you're working on something fun and wonderful and fabulous. Let me know what you were working on while you were watching or listening today. I would love to hear all about it. If you have something to share, the link for submissions to the Google submission link thing for the Spinning Frolic is down in the description. And I think that is everything that wraps us up for today. I will see you tomorrow, and I will wish you happy spinning and happy Vlogmas.